Hi guys, Squall here and welcome to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the bell so you get notified of new videos. In this video, we're going to fly the TBM 930 and we're going to do an IFR flight back from Miramar to Ontario in California. It's about a 75 nautical mile flight. We did the journey down here and we're about to do the return journey. I'm going to show you how to do the planning based on free websites that you can use online. And we're also going to use FS Economy to pick up some passengers. So let's get started with the planning and then we can jump into the cockpit and enjoy the flight. So first of all, let's just have a very quick look at the departure. These passengers, it's been flown for Air Squirrel. These passengers are ready to go from Kilo November Kilo X-Ray to Kilo Oscar November Tango. So we'll take that code there for a second. Got 6 passengers on board, paying $795 each. For a total of 6 passengers, we have 7 spaces, so 1 seat is going to be empty, so somebody's going to put their feet on the seat, no doubt. We have got 76 gallons, which is more than enough for the trip we want to do. You can estimate your fuel needed down here. You can say, well, what's 75 nautical? 14 gallons, so 76 is more than enough for our journey. Go over to Sky Vector, and we'll put Kilo November Kilo X-Ray in as a departure. Kilo Oscar November Tango as the destination, and straight away you can see 74.7 nautical miles, estimated en route time 37 minutes. So what kind of flight plan IFR would we go for with this? Well, if we was to look at the METAR, we would see that they're taking off roughly westerly runways today. So that's your first thing you look at, is the departure runway. So we'll be taking off out of 24 right, I think it is, and we'll be arriving into 26 right, is it? Up at Ontario, something like that. It's basically the westerly runway. It's a busy space around here, very busy in fact, and what we need to do is click on this and then hover over Miramar, and we're looking for departure procedures. There's a bunch of departure procedures. How the heck do you decide which one you need? Well, the first thing to realize is that we want to head approximately north. So one or more of these is going to be heading northbound. Others will be going southbound possibly, or even eastbound. If we click on the first one, Lakey 3, and you look at this and you think, what the heck am I looking at? It's not that difficult. You can see the runway here, and you can see it makes a right turn and then heads on a 360 radial out of Mission Bay. Well, Mission Bay is actually a VOR station that is positioned, it's all in the middle of this lot there, but it's right here, there you go. So what that means is we come out of Miramar and you make a right turn and you follow this 360 radial, or basically northbound. And then what happens is you have essentially a transition that you can just carry on a 360 radial if you go northbound, or you can turn right on the Julia transition. Remember JLI from the previous video? That's the VOR station. So if you were going easterly, you could then follow the Julian transition, and then if you're going northeast or east or southeast, and so on. We want to go northbound, so Lakey 3 departure actually looks pretty good for what we're trying to do. Lakey 3 departure, if it tries to route us to Julia, we could perhaps delete that and just carry on that track. So that's our departure sorted, so we'll look for that in a second in the plane. So meanwhile, what about the arrival? Well, the arrival, again, we're coming in from roughly from the south. We can expect some stuff to involve this Paradise VOR, no doubt. But let's see what it gives us. We'll hover over Ontario, and we need to decide what kind of approach we're going to go for. Now, if we're going to be landing on 26 right, which we are, we have a few choices. The ILS approach, or one of the RNAV approaches. To keep it consistent with the last video, we'll just do the RNAV approach. I will cover ILS in a later video. So let's start off by looking, say, at the first one and see what the RNAV... By the way, when you see a letter Y and Z, it means it's the exact same runway, but it's a different variation of an RNAV approach. So they're both going to come into 26 right, but they're going to be coming in from different areas, basically. So this Z one, for example, when we look at this, we can see straight away, there's the runway there. We can see straight away that the Z version of this is designed for aircraft coming in from the north. So this is definitely not the one we want. So let's have a look at the Y. And on the Y one, it looks like they're coming in from the south here. It says initial approach fix is Dice G. There's the Paradise VOR here. which is obviously being used to route you in, and then a left turn, and then that's the missed approach. There's also a mention of something here, Ascent, which could be a transition coming in. So if we spot an Ascent transition or something similar, we could come in from the southeast. That would be a bit easier. Otherwise, what it's going to do is take us to Paradise, and then we're going to go east and then left and then right. So it's a bit of a it's totally flyable, but it's a bit of a clumsy approach compared to, say, that one. So at least we know what we need. We need the RNAV Y approach onto 26 right. And that's effectively it, because it is such a short journey. We don't really need to route ourselves any other way. If you wanted to do a bit more detail, you could use SimBrief to, if you've gone on a longer journey, you could use SimBrief to give you some waypoints on the way. You could even use Microsoft Flight Sim's main menu and let it do the routing. There's many different ways of doing this. So what we'll do is we'll jump in the aircraft and we'll see if we can figure out those departures and arrivals and get them programmed in. Okay, let's see what fun and games this thing can come up with for us today. So, exactly like last time, we're going to go down to the, press the MFD button there and then press Flight Plan. It should already be punched in for Miramar to Ontario, but as you can see, yet again, it must be a bug. When it automatically loads from the main menu, you can see it thinks it's 31 nautical miles, which is utter nonsense. So we're going to reprogram this in. We're going to go KNKX. Sorry, that was wrong. Not KRKX. What am I talking about? KNKX. Lose my mind. Oops. Backspace. KNKX. Okay. KNKX. I get it there. Miramar. Right, that's what we want. And then destination is Kilo Oscar November Tango, Ontario. Beautiful. Oh, look. Now it's 75 away. How bizarre. Right, so let's go back to the MFD page and we'll go for procedures and departure. And we know we want the runway 26 right, but it's not letting us do it. We'll go for departure. It's not letting us do it. We'll go for transition. It's not letting us do it. And this is the problem with Microsoft Flight Sim right now, is sometimes this stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. I guarantee you, if we did it from the main menu, it would have already programmed in this departure. I guarantee it'll be on the main menu. In fact, you know what? I'm going to jump to the main menu and we'll prove that theory. Well, it seems I was wrong. The reason it doesn't have, it couldn't load anything is because it just doesn't seem to know about any instrument departures going out of Miramar. We've tried high altitude airways, low altitude airways, doesn't make any difference. It just does not know anything about a departure. It does know about the arrivals, look, which is interesting, but it's just not got them. So it mustn't be in the database at the moment. So we'll jump back in and we'll basically vector ourselves out. Just quickly looking at this. Essentially, we knew that we wanted to turn right out of here, so there's a healthy waypoint. So we'll just add the healthy waypoint and vector ourselves out that way. Here we are, back in the cockpit, round 2. So we go back down to the MFD, and of course the flight plan will have the wrong distance again. So we'll try it again. KNKX, enter. Destination KONT, enter. And we know that it won't select a departure, so we'll try adding the en route waypoint of Helsi. See if it knows about that. It knows about Helsi. 3 nautical mile on a 308 degree from us. Whoops, wrong way. So if we just quickly zoom out, there you go. There's Helsi. So that's not so bad. I mean, the plane's going to turn right. It's going to have a hard time trying to keep up with Helsi, but we'll carry on. It'll give us a rough waypoint to leave from. So now, in terms of our arrival, if we click down and click on Ontario, actually, I want to go back and go procedure, arrival, 26 right, and what did we say was our arrival that we wanted? KONT. Quickly tab over to the page here. We wanted the RNAV GPS 26 right is what we were looking for. RNAV 2. What? Oh, actually, I need to go back one. Flight plan. Procedure. Approach. RNAV 26 right, and it's the Y variant we want, not the Z. Remember, Z came in from the north, so there's the Y variant. And it does have an Ascent transition, which is this one here, which is great. It means we can come in from this vector here, ACINS, which is a much nicer one than going via the Paradise thing, so that's nice. Ascent's Gorp, Scrim, Folnu. So there's Gorp, Scrim, Folnu. Yep, looks absolutely brilliant. So let's load that. Go back to the MFD flight plan. There's Helsey, and then after that we should be into Ascent and Gorp. So Gorp was 4,800, and Gorp back to Ascent is 12 nautical miles. So 12 nautical miles, we know that the 3-to-1 ratio that we talked about basically said that for 1,000 feet, multiply it by 3 nautical miles. So we can do about 4,000 feet between here and here if we want to. Just quickly look at the charts. Next question is that safe to do? Yeah, I mean there's hills over here, but we'll be coming in this way, so we're okay to do that. Just to be safe, let's make it like 10,000. Which is, oh, it's not taking that. Interesting. Okay, well just, I don't know why. 11,000, maybe? Flight management systems are a bit... Yeah. Okay, so Ascent, we want to be at 10,000, let's just say that. And then we'll have to descend down to 5,000 after that, but we should be able to do it in 12 nautical, no problem at all. So that's that programmed in. The next things we need to do, we're climbing out to flight level 200 today. So let's quickly select our altitude, 20,000 feet. Takes a little while to click through. There we go, 20,000 feet, put the flight director on. Nav will come on, V-speed. Climb rates will be, initially we'll go out to 1,200 until we pick up a little bit of speed. And then we'll basically, you should be able to do 2,000 feet, no problem at all. OBS, sorry, that should be on. GPS handling, PFD settings, other settings, wind, option 3. So we got the wind setting on there, which is the version I like. You can actually, there's a couple of different ways of displaying the wind. One of them shows the cross component, which is can be quite handy on final. Then we want to come down to the PFD, and then we want speed bugs. So we'll activate the approach speed and the rotate speed. That'll do us. Looking at the chart, the minimum will be about 448. Not that I think it does anything with this at the moment, but it should do. And we don't need to worry about the nav at the moment. We're not going to track any VORs or anything. We'll leave that for another day. Weather we don't need to worry about because the weather's pretty nice down here right now. And then finally we want a heading bug to be approximately... Oh, by the way, you know if you scroll this, it goes in 10 degrees for me. Then if you click next to it, then it goes in 1 degree, like. Some guy in the stream figured it out. It's a weird one, but that's how it works. So yeah, we'll press the B key and get the local baro, which is 29.8. So yeah, I think we are all set up. So let's taxi over to the runway and we'll get out of here. I changed the heading bug to 240 because we're taking off on 24 right. I was getting mixed up between the arrival runway and the approach and the departure runway. We're arriving on 26. Okay, so 24 right is here. We should have a right turn at some point. Weather looks pretty good. Outside air temperature 24 Celsius, so it's a nice day. I think I might have gone too far. Possibly need to go this way. There we go. It's really weird with these like blue lines all in the like crazy places at the moment, these blue lights. It's a bit weird trying to figure out where exactly you're supposed to be. Okay, so we stop at the arrival onto the runway because we've got a few things we need to do. One of which is start FS economy. And stop. Right. Parking brakes going on. We'll bring over FS economy and we'll go start flight. You can see the aircraft pitch then because a whole load of people just got on board. And of course the fuel's been adjusted and the tail number is now 161 Sierra Quebec. Perfect. So that's all started. We've got our altitude 20,000 feet punched in. We've got the latest weather. Nav mode, FD, V speed, 1200. So it's going to be a right turn climb out to Helsey, which is only 3.6 nautical away, so it's going to be a fairly sharp right-hand turn. And the approach definitely does look clear. So let's release the parking brake. We'll line up. First stage of flaps. Get the trim setting correct. Windsock on the right there, look at it, it's looking pretty limp. A 1 knot headwind. Very calm day. Alright, 2-4 right, identified. So we're going to push forward on the yoke. Just keep the nose down, let the engine settle, and then bring in the power. And power is set. Massive runway for a little plane like this. See our rotate marker there at 90 coming in. Put that back on the on the stick now and pull back. Positive rate, so bring the gear up. I'll follow the flight director. To overspeed. The flight director commands a much lower glide at the moment, but 10 degrees is the best one for the TBM, otherwise you will overspeed it on the climb out. I'll bring the flaps up now. Then it commands 10 degrees. Just retrim it. We can reach down and zoom out. Turn off the initial separator now. Inertial, not initial, inertial separator. Whoa, that was just pitching up. And we'll engage the yaw damper. Autopilot's engaged. Because it's in nav mode, it's going to go straight for Helsey. There you go. So that was a nice little waypoint to punch in because it basically gave it a nice vector out of here. We have a quick look back. A terrific view. Massive quarry below us. Look at that. Okay, so let's just keep an eye on what's going on the plane, because that's the most important thing. So we'll basically change the vertical speed now to 2,000. And just increase the throttle. And that should be that. The plane should now climb out above the clouds. 23 Celsius, don't need to worry about ice as we fly through this little fluffy. It's a shame it didn't have the departure in. We could have flown that Lakey departure, but it's fine. We're still approximately doing what that was going to do anyway. Synchronize the header plug again. But that's that. So we're going to climb to 20,000 feet, and then we'll work out where our descent point's going to be again using a quick bit of maths. And yeah, I shall see you in cruise. Right, so we are just about coming up into cruise, and you'll notice we are 35 nautical miles from Ascent, and Ascent was 62 nautical from the previous waypoint. But what's important right now is we're at 20,000 feet, or almost, and we said that when we got to Ascent we tried to punch in 10,000 here, but it wouldn't let us, if you remember. So it basically means we need to go 20 minus 10,000 is 10. 10 times 3 is 30. 30 nautical miles to get down to 10,000 feet. And we're at 33. So we've just hit our cruise altitude. Or just about to hit our cruise altitude. And we need to basically descend. So we basically got to like the maximum climb point, and everything else is going to be gliding back down. So as we approach 20,000 now, we're just going to click into place. 32 nautical, then we're going to descend down to 10,000 and try and pick up this profile that we're aiming for. Scroll that back. Like so, and we go V speed. And we'll basically start descending 2,000 feet. We'll have to start watching our airspeed, and we'll monitor it. So basically about 5,000 feet down, so when we're at about 15,000 we should be roughly 15 nautical away. That's the way to work out the profile that we're on. Everything else is programmed in. That Ascent transition allows us to come in quite nicely. If we just quickly remind ourselves of the flight plan. There you go. So Ascent is here, and then Gorp needs to be at 4,800. And Gorp is put to... normally tells you the distance here: 6, 9.3, 10.3, 10.8, 11.8, 12. So it's 12 nautical. So 12 nautical miles from Gorp. So 4,800, we are 12 nautical miles away from the runway. And then we're going to start our descent down at Scrim. That is our actual fix for the descent. Just keeping my eye on the distance here. So 24 nautical miles away, and we're already 17.5, so we're looking good. Looks like the quick maths has worked out all right, but that's, you know, that's at this speed. Running on a ground speed is like over 300 knots, so we're moving pretty quick, basically. But yeah, the key to this is to just track it. Like I say, when you get to 15 nautical, I mean, you know, we're actually descending a little bit too quick. You can see we're descending too quickly, because at 15 nautical we should be on 15,000, and we're way ahead of that. So what you could do is you could adjust it a little bit, like that, and just tweak it so that you get that, you know, maximum glide down. It's one of the things that you could do. Or you could just not go as quickly. You could put the nose down, throttle back a bit more, and do it that way. Save a bit of fuel. I think that's what we'll do. We'll put the nose down to 2,000 feet, and we'll pull back on the throttle. There's 15,000, and we're not even 15 nautical, so we are ahead of the profile, which is better being ahead than behind. We're on track to hit Ascent at 10,000, and then the next waypoint after that is Gorp at 4,800, so we need to keep the descent going. We have a quick look between Gorp and Ascent is 12 nautical miles. And that will be about 5,000 feet, so we need 10 nautical to do it, so we shouldn't have a problem with that either. It's quite nice weather today. There's been little scattered clouds down there. The scenery is pretty good around here. Pretty good scenery. Very, very hilly in places. Okay, 12 nautical away, so I'm just going to pull back on the descent rate a little bit. Let's go 1,500. So another way to do this is if you look at your ground speed, 2,600, divide that by 2, well, ignore the 1 on the end. Take the 26, divide by 2, and that gives you, well, at the moment, 26 divided by 2 gives you 13. So 1,300 feet per minute, 13 times 100, 1,300 feet per minute would be that. So at that ground speed, that's a 3-degree glide slope, basically, which is another little trick you can use. But obviously you have to keep your eye on this ground speed because it will vary, especially if you move the throttle. That's now a 3-degree glide, which should match the profile of ×3 on the altitude. I know it's all a bit, huh, what? But it just works. It's amazing how it works. Oh, that's a pretty good view. Industrial it is here. It's great, like big airfields like this, to put the industry right on the approach path because they don't care about the planes flying overhead. So we're coming up on 10,000 and we've got 5 nautical away, so we're ahead of the game. There's the mountains there, and then it'll be a left turn. The airfield should be over there somewhere. I don't have a visual on it, I don't know if you do. Oh, there it is. So the approach lights there. Right there. It's very, very flat around here. It's crazy. So, we are at 10,000 feet. Just going to put a bit of throttle back in now, keep the speed going. Once we pass Ascent, I'm going to basically set 4,800 feet, and then we're going to work out our feet per minute based on our ground speed. So at the moment we'll be looking at 1,200. Remember, just knock that 5 off the end there, ignore that 5. 2,4, that's what we want, a 2,4 divided by 2. That's 12. And then add 2 zeros. So 1,200, there we go. So we'll select V speed, we'll go 1,200. Sorry, my bad. 4,800, needs to do altitude first. Then V speed, then we can do that. And then just try and keep the same approximate speed. Once we get to Gorp, we'll be, excuse me, once we get to Gorp, we'll be, I think we said 12 nautical away, so then at that point we need to decel. So, right, you know, the plane's roughly halfway there. So we're about 6 nautical miles away. It should be halfway between 10,000 and 4,800, which is about 7.5-ish. So just need to decrease a little bit. It's probably because I didn't set the altitude as we turned. It took a little bit of time there. We lost a bit of time, so we'll just decelerate a little bit quicker. Quick look at the charts. 4,800 at Corp. 2,900 at Scrim. It's amazing what you get for free in the scenery, it really is. Look at it. It's better than the ortho I used to generate on X-Plane. Right, I'm going to back off on the throttle. I'm just going to let it glide down now. Try and make sure we get that waypoint, so I'm just going to pitch the nose down. But yeah, this is a key to it really, just kind of knowing what you're aiming for and then just making sure you stay on the target. If the VNAV was working and we could punch that altitude in there, we'd literally just hit the VNAV button and it would just do all the hard work for us. But I think it's good knowing how to do this stuff. Okay, so we're a bit above profile right now. So we'll keep the descent going as we pass Gorp. Then we'll bring the altitude down to 2,900 for Scrim. Okay, so I'm now at minimum throttle. Like I say, it's a bit of a slippy bird. Don't think we've got any speed brakes, have we? If we did, we could dump those out and that would scrub some speed off, but I think we'll be fine. Let's go and zoom that in. So yeah, what I want to do is I want to get our speed back now so that we can deploy the landing gear. We need to hit this. We need to hit this altitude first at Scrim, so we're descending quite rapidly at the moment. We're coming up on 29. And the nose will come up, the speed will come down, and we can deploy landing gear. We can identify 26 right there. Get the heading aligned. So yeah, we're going to have to basically shave off speed once we level out now. Right, so we shall
landing gear.
Pull the throttle right back.
Landing gear.
It's screaming landing gear because I've throttled right back.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
And we'll get the landing gear out. That will give us a bit more resistance. A little bit high in profile. Just waiting for the speed to come back. Once we get the flaps in, there'll be problem at all, just waiting for that white marker. Just caught a little bit too much energy there. Okay, flaps going in. Get both flaps in now, And there we go now, the speed's not a problem. So now we're aiming for our approach speed of 85 knots. Just want to settle the power in. Okay, right, now we'll disengage autopilot and yaw damper. And the aircraft is ours. Right, looking at the wind, we've got a very, very slight crosswind, but nothing. It's like literally a 1 knot crosswind. So it should be a fairly smooth approach. Just bear in mind when you fly in a turboprop that the engines take a bit longer to spool up. When you want more power, like now, there is a bit of a delay before you get it. It's not like just a piston engine where you get almost instant power. It's a bit bumpy. See the puppy lights on the threshold? It's indicating we're too low. We've got good visibility though, so we're fine. That's the marker sound. And we're down. Brakes are so darn good. We managed to vacate almost immediately. Okay, tax lights coming on. Runway vacated. Welcome back to Ontario. We should go and park next to that caravan, I think it is. Yep, caravan. It looks like it's got a front floating nose wheel. You see that? I'm pretty certain that front wheel was off the ground. That's amazing. Okay, so because the parking brake came on, obviously FS Economy's logged the flight. Let's go back to FS Economy now. We should have no flight because we've moved all the passengers. And there you go, that was the first flight that we did in the previous video, and now we've just done this one. And we've earned a bit more dosh, but we've also attracted some fees here because we took so many passengers. To scale, I think it's after about 6 passengers or more, you get like 1% per passenger, so it's like a 6% fee or something because we had 6 of them. But it's all good because we still got paid 2,000, 1,600 to Air Squirrel. So I'll take that. Hope you found the video helpful, guys. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new, and hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying Microsoft Flight Simulator. I certainly am, even for all its quirks, but it's patch week this week, so hopefully we'll fix some things. Anyway, take care, guys. Happy flying.